Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Bridge Radio Africa, the Ashford Garley live show right here on Bridge Radio, Bridge TV Africa. We're coming your way from Monrovia, Liberia. It's good to have you in company with us this Friday. Today is a national holiday in Liberia. It's considered Fast and Prayer Day. My name is Volcano Shelton. I'm the co-host of the program. Welcome you all of you viewers wherever you are across the globe. So welcome to all of our avid viewers and listeners. This is the platform to be on. Here we discuss the issues, we review human interest stories, we educate, and we entertain. Again, if you just join us, we say welcome. Good evening, sir. To you, Raymond S. Clark. Welcome to the show. Um, this evening, we're going to be discussing a very pertinent topic regarding the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. Its mandate, what it is expected to do, uh, is it receiving the kind of support, and whether it's capable of tackling the drug issues in the country. Well, just going back into our previous broadcast, we have been covering some of the ills here in Monrovia and its environs. We looked at the pimping boys. We talked about the erratic behavior or in the traffic and the way they carry on. And it seems as though no one seems to care. No one is addressing the issue. Just this evening, we heard about an accident that took place on the Somalia Drive, where a dump truck slammed into a pimping uh, rider, killing two of the persons, including the pimping rider, and another person was seriously injured. So these are the kinds of things that we need to talk about, because why it is true that if you come to think about the country itself, it's like the roads are just like freeways. They just don't have what you would consider stop sign, yield sign, the curve, slow down, all these things, and traffic light, and police to direct. Now, few police here and there. It's only when traffic jam that they're coming to help to uh, clear this traffic, and hopefully get people to go through. But overall, it's every day the same issue. We also talked about the erection of drinking spots in the country. Everywhere you turn, there's loud music and people drinking alcohol. I think, let me tell you something. I was thinking about beer factory. Beer factory has made billions of dollars in this country. And I don't really know what the social corporate responsibility in this country is. I truly don't know. And that would be something that we'll have to review. Beer factory, gold medal factory, all these alcohol places have made billions of dollars. And I'm saying billions because they've been around long before I was even born. And I don't see what they're doing, except they're making the Liberian people get drunk every day, you know. But again, drinking spots everywhere. And we also, cover some of the positive things with the government of President Weah, talking about uh, in the human rights report, there has been no political prisoner since his reign, which is a plausible, uh, you know, uh, picture to print. We also talked about the erection of some of the infrastructure facility, especially the West African power plant that will help to what you call it, provide electricity in certain areas of the country. We also covered the Doris Williams Sports Stadium. I understand that President Weah is still carrying on his county tour, and he should be going on to Grand Bassa County next, the county of hospitality. So apparently he will be dedicating some projects, and maybe the Doris Williams Stadium would be one of those. I understand that he will be dedicating the old folks home where his wife Claire Weah is responsible for. So there's a lot of things going on, but again, tonight's topic is the LDEA, the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. I have our guest contributor, Mr. Moses Sandy, who's been with us over the last several weeks, supporting the platform and adding his expertise and experience. Good evening, Mr. Sandy. Welcome to Bridge Radio TV, Bridge Radio Africa, the Ashford Garley live show here. We come your way just before you come in on Facebook and YouTube, but we also come locally in Liberia via Joy FM, Top FM, and Live FM. Welcome, Moses.
Thank you, Mr. Shelton. It's good to be back with you on a Friday evening. Do you
Moses,
hear
you
me?
seem to be freezing. I don't know if it's your
Oh,
internet. Are you in a
uh,
position where you're
I am. Do you hear me now? Are you hearing me?
they're probably not from my end though, because I can see myself very crystal.
Yeah, I'm looking at you. I'm also talking to you.
But your
You know,
screen is freezing.
I don't know what's going on here, but do you hear me now? Am I okay?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, good. Yeah, so I was saying that it's pleasing to be back. Thanks for the opportunity on a Friday evening to talk to my people in Liberia and other parts of the world. Are you still struggling hearing me?
You're kind of fading in and out.
I,
I'm
I,
not. I don't believe that it's coming from my end.
I,
It could
I
be
wonder.
from yours. Even though you're in America, it doesn't mean that sometimes again I mess over there.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. You want me to go in and you want me to go out and come back?
Just go ahead. Just go ahead. People can hear
Okay.
you, but you're freezing. Your screen is freezing a lot.
I don't know why. The screen from my end is clear. It's sharp from my end. I can see you. You look blurred from my end. I don't. Okay, now I can see you better.
But am I freezing from your end? Am I freezing?
No, no, you are not.
Okay, so it's coming from you. That's what I'm saying. But go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, you
But
were
do
saying.
you hear what I said earlier? I mean, did you hear what I said earlier?
Yeah, you were trying to greet the folks.
Yeah, I was saying that it's good to be back on a Friday evening, um, to be a part of this meaningful discussion today.
Welcome. So we kind of going to be looking at the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. Accordingly, the promo says here Liberia drug is an epidemic and is very serious.
Hmm.
As per the media report, the problem of drug addiction in the country, mainly amongst the country's youth population, is pervasive. It has decimated the lives of scores of Liberians. In addition, it has ruined the lives of several families. And in the context of ruined family, it means that if a parent has their only child doing drug at a very high rate, that
Hmm.
family is ruined. Um, in an attempt to tackle the problem effectively, the Liberian government, through legislative enactment, passed the Liberia anti-drug law and
Yeah.
established the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency a few years
Hmm.
ago. Now,
Yes.
the LDEA mandate is to enforce the Liberia anti-drug law, prevent drug use, and help in the rehabilitation of addicts. However, is the LDEA meeting these challenges? So tonight we're here to discuss these issues. Let's start off with first. Why was the LDEA established? Even though we did talk about it, but you want to expand on it.
Yeah. Uh, I would say let's begin by looking at the problem. Since we focus on the problem, the problem of addiction in Liberia, with particular reference to drugs, meaning marijuana, cocaine, heroin, and opiates, fentanyl, morphine, and other forms of opiates. We can,
And Moses, Moses,
yes, yes,
Moses.
yes.
Just before you go in, let's have a moment of silence for one of our colleagues who passed
Oh,
today,
oh, yeah.
uh, legendary
Yes,
newscaster
Johnson.
Janet Johnson.
Oh, man.
Janet, we worked together at LBS for many years. In fact, she and I we entered LBS together, and you
Hmm.
later joined us because you were with MeCat. But
Yes,
I still remember some fond memories of Janet. We had
yes.
some very great time together as my colleague. We had the best of, camaraderie, respect, and we trusted each other, especially give our given talents in the uh, era of broadcasting. I
Yeah.
remember one night Jeanette was given an opportunity to DJ on the air, and
Yeah.
newscasters don't know what to do. They don't know what to say. They don't have the flair. And I still remember Jeanette went on the air and said, "Tonight I'm the DJ Jeanette Johnson, and I'm gonna lay here with you tonight."
Oh,
And
yeah,
she said, "I'm gonna lay here with you."
do Ray here with all
Yeah, and
tonight.
she said, "I'm gonna lay here with you tonight." Patrick, Patrick,
That's
Patrick,
just, another
Patrick called on the
junkie
walkie-talkie and said,
But man, take that woman off the
Patrick
radio.
Magic called on the walkie-talkie and said, "I right here. If you right here to know, we'll take you off the air." But she was trying to rap, and say something,
Yeah, yeah,
and she went on to say, "I'm right here with you." So
yeah.
let's just have a moment of silence for her. Let's look at 10 seconds.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you
My
too.
brother, we're here today and we're gone tomorrow, Moses. And I tell
Absolutely.
you the truth.
Uh,
Can't believe that Jeanette is gone.
Janet Johnson was a friend, a co-worker, very lively person in the newsroom. She was one of the funniest newscasters we had at LBS when I was editor in chief. We worked well together. So my heart go off. I mean, my heart goes out to her family, her friends, the PL, and the entire press corps. Today is a sad day for us. I hope that our soul and those of the faithfully departed will continue to rest in peace. I would
And,
also
and
like,
today, today,
yeah, go ahead.
today was
Go
not
ahead.
just Jeanette. The Prince of Edinburgh,
Oh,
Prince
yeah.
Philip, Queen
Uh-huh.
Elizabeth the second's husband died at 99. And
Yes.
then I hear that DMX also died.
Mm.
So today was not a good day.
Today is just a sad day. And then let's even take it to the locals or the situation of the accident that you just spoke about. Those individuals who died, that were hit by the truck driver in Monrovia. I mean, when I heard you speak about that volcano, it really broke my heart, man. That those people lost their lives like that. I don't know how when
And
this,
Moses, sometimes,
yeah,
yeah, sometimes these are the things we're talking about, the erratic behavior of these motorcyclists. I was
yeah.
driving this, even one of the guys just cut me off, just did a 360 swing. I had to slam on the brakes.
Look
And
at that.
sometimes it's unavoidable. They think that they're faster than the speed of a car.
Like you
They just
can
do
do.
whatever. Why it is true that it's sad that they lost their lives, but I'm sure at some point they were erratic. They don't care. They don't pay attention. There's no driving rule. They don't follow anything, and they just do whatever they want.
But because our problem here again, everything comes back to how our national leaders are enforcing the rule of law in our country. People need to hold people accountable. You can't allow a group of people to become law unto themselves. These motorcyclists are causing more problems for Liberians. They're actually doing good. This thing has got to come to an end. Someone has to step up to the place. And I think that is lacking.
Yeah,
The
but let's
people,
come to the topic.
yeah, so to our topic of discussion tonight, I would say let's begin first by looking at the problem of addiction with particular focus on drug use. Addiction is a lifelong journey. Addiction is costly. So when someone tells you that addiction affects the addict and the families, the person is simply saying to you that it's very expensive. Take for example, if you're in Liberia, you are addicted to cocaine or you are addicted to fentanyl, and you are spending 100 Liberian dollars a day getting high. When you do the math in a month time, a month of 30 days, you're talking about 3,000 Liberian dollars. And if there is somebody who is at the bottom of the economy who can barely afford a cup of rice, what do you think that person will resort to? The person is going to prostitute. The person is going to get engaged into criminal activities. That's why there's a correlation between crime and addiction. We need to clearly, state that. When people are supporting a bad habit, it makes it difficult for them to even support their families. They may not pay their rent. They may not keep up with their personal hygiene. They may not be able to buy food. They may not pay attention to the needs of the children. That's how costly addiction is. Now, in Liberia, let's say the problem of addiction, how profound it is. It is very prevalent. It is very pervasive. Everywhere you go in Liberia, people are using drugs. I regularly follow the Liberian news agency, the director, Mr. Weeks. Whenever he travels, he conducts interviews with artists and other Liberians. And the other day he was in Nimba. He talked to a group of addicts. He went to Lofa. He talked to an addict. Everywhere he goes, there are addicts. You come to Monrovia, you have a multiplicity of addicts. These are young people. These are individuals that have been what? Categorized, referred to as what? Zogos. These are people that are supposed to be contributing effectively to the economy of Liberia. But what? Addiction has taken over their lives. So this is another problem that as a government we have to deal with. As a government, our people will have to deal with this problem on a consistent basis to ensure that these people are given the help they need. These people need treatment. They need to go to rehab. They need medical care. They need mental health services. And in a country where you have serious economic challenges, it just makes it difficult to really give them the kind of help these people need. So addiction in Liberia is a serious problem. People sell drugs all over the country. Just before I came in, I was online, doing a little bit of research. I learned that in 2018, at one of the precincts in Liberia, drugs were confiscated by officers of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. In 2020, February 2020, more than 80,000 US dollars worth of marijuana was also arrested by the Liberian National Police. So it tells you how big this problem is. This has become a serious problem. Now, this is where the role of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency comes in. This agency was initially established in 1993. That was then during the IGNO administration headed by Dr. Amos Sawyer. It became the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency during the administration of former President Charles Taylor. Um, a law was passed. It created the LDEA as an institution to help protect Liberia territorial borders against the sale, or I mean, against the importation and exportation of drugs. The agency was also set up to help rehabilitate drug addicts. So it is the responsibility of the LDEA to help these guys who are roaming the streets of Monrovia, they refer to as Zogos, to make sure that these people are in treatment. It is also the responsibility of the LDEA to prevent
Mhm.
the rapid spread of what? Drug, the sale of drugs. In Liberia, everywhere you turn to, people are selling drugs. These young people, it's the responsibility of the agency to ensure that that is curtailed. The LDEA reports to the Ministry of Justice. The LDEA is an autonomous agency. So they report to the Ministry of Justice. The Ministry of Justice plays the supervisory role of the LDEA. Now, as an institution, to be able to function effectively, there are laws. And Volcano, this is laughing, but there are laws on the book that give the LDEA the authority to arrest, charge, and forward to court individuals involved in the sale of drugs in the country. Meaning that if you are importing, you are exporting, they have that legal authority to ensure that you are prosecuted to the fullest. However, our drug enforcement laws in Liberia, as per the laws, drug offenses are what available. So if someone who brought in $80,000 worth of marijuana goes to court, the person can secure a bond. Now that has become a problem for the LDEA because of Volcano. So many cases, so many people are being arrested in that country, and they forwarded to court the next day. They are right back on the street doing almost the same thing. Let me give you a typical example. Recently, the LDEA officers in Grand Crew County arrested
Mm-hmm.
a consignment of cocaine. When the arrest was made, the very officers, 4 officers of the LDA, these are individuals paid by taxpayers of Liberia. What did they do? They decided to repackage the very cocaine that they arrested and recycle it right back on the market. So these are people that are supposed to be prosecuting. But instead of prosecuting, they themselves became what? Perpetrators of the crime. So it tells you how weak our laws are. People are sent to court. Nothing happens. They can't read back. People go and sign documents for them. So you have officers who are also engaged in the act. So it just undermines the work of the agency. 4 officers in Grand Crew County were terminated by the LDEA authority because of what they did. The local superintendent in Newtown of the LDEA was recently suspended for 1 month for similar act, engaging in fishing activities. I mean, come on, if individuals who are being paid by taxpayers, giving the mandate of what? Prosecuting, preventing the sale of drugs, illegal drugs in the country, are engaging into these acts, then where are we headed to as a country? You see? Let's look
So
at
let me
it.
comment quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So when you look at DEA, its formation, the mandates given it,
Mhm.
um, for something this new, because when you talk about the LDEA being established under Sawyer's government, that tells you it's very new.
Yeah.
And then here we come into this government.
Mhm.
But will you say that it's probably not adequately funded in the budget, the national budget? And that could
Absolutely.
be some of the reasons why these mandates are not being met. For instance, his budget is under $500,000.
Yeah.
And I was just in a company before coming on the show,
Mhm.
and the guy, he's well informed. He said that the DEA budget is under $500,000 and it's all
Yeah.
salary driven.
Mhm.
So there's no logistics, there's no resources, and those kinds of things. So when you run a budget, I mean, come to think about it, the DEA is a very important organization. It should be
Absolutely.
provided with a kind of funding source to make it very effective, especially looking at our country today and the prevalence of drug use. And these drugs are coming all through the borders, all
Mhm.
through the countries by many means. I'm not to, let me call a spade a spade. They said the Nigerians are bringing the drugs here.
Cool. Liberia more like
by
a
the
transit
tons.
point for drug dealers. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, and this is one of the corridors. This is the corridors because of the weakness in our borders and the
Hmm.
corruption at the and bribes at the border.
Hmm.
And like you just said, people will nab these guys, but they'll be right back on the streets and
Yeah.
they'll be gone.
Hmm.
So how can you run the DEA with less funding, no resources, and no logistics? Coming.
I really don't understand how they intend to do this because the fight against the sale of drugs, Volcano, is a costly fight. It beats my imagination that an importing agency such as the LDEA will have a budgetary allocation of less than $500,000 a year. The agency is ill equipped, underfunded. I think it was in 2020, the United States government donated what? Set of uniforms, batons. I mean, come on, man. I mean, is Liberia telling us that they cannot afford to buy uniforms for their officers? And people will have to labor there.
They
Do
could
not
even saw the
you need
uniform.
to labor. I mean, come on now.
They could
Volcano,
saw the uniforms there.
where are we? Come in, Volcano. Where are we?
I mean, that's to tell you that priorities are being missed. You
Uh,
know, I think the parastatus is responsible for security in Liberia needs to be really funded. You're talking about the National Police Force. That's why the National Police Force is not capable of perpetrating the rule of law. If they're
of course.
paid well
Mhm,
and uniformed well, provided with the resources and logistics, I'm
mhm,
sure that Liberians will pay attention to the police. But the
mhm.
police just a regular guy. He stands on the corner, and that's all they know.
That's
So
all it
even
is.
if he tries to be, forceful and use the law, he is inadequate. He doesn't have a weapon. He doesn't have anything to protect him if he was to get in a fight,
Mhm.
for his own safety. So these guys just wear the uniform, walk around, and that's it.
That's
Uh,
it.
for instance, the immigration, same thing.
Yeah.
If they're paid well, then many foreigners won't come here and try to become Liberians. They will
Of
follow
course.
the books. They will come and go through the naturalization process. So a lot of these institutions that were put in place to implement
Mhm.
the laws and enforce the laws and keep our country safe, those institutions are not provided for. You have a senator sitting in the house there making good money. You
Yeah.
have a representative sitting in the house making good money. They're only concerned about their pockets, but they're not concerned about the national
Yeah.
protection of the citizenry. And that's where
I,
the problem lies, Moses.
I agree absolutely. Miss priorities. How can you pay a senator $10,000? You pay a lawmaker uh $10 or $15,000, and people charged with the responsibility of protecting Liberia's territorial borders against the importation and sale of drugs in the country earn less than $200 a month. And you have porous borders in Liberia. So you are basically telling us that these guys are vulnerable, Volcano, because anybody, any drug dealer can walk into Liberia with thousands of dollars and bribe the entire LDA. The guys are vulnerable. They are undersupported.
And and,
They don't have the
and
equipment.
Moses,
Yes.
something I wanted to add.
Uh-huh.
You wonder. They say no money in the country. People are struggling. They can't cheat in a hall. But Moses, I've covered the nightlife in Liberia a few weeks now.
Yeah.
The people drinking liquor like it's free, and it's not free.
Yeah.
So where they getting the money from to buy all this alcohol they're drinking? If today is Friday fast and prayer day, instead of fasting and praying, you go to any liquor spot now, my man. The people are all over the place getting drunk.
Yeah.
So that tells you the market here for drug use is good,
It's
and that's
moving.
why
It's
these
a
folks are
booming
coming in with
market.
the drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. The market here for alcohol use is good
Of course.
because you wonder where these people take all this money from to
Everybody.
drink every day. Every blessed day, the liquor spots are open, people are balling, and people are having the joy of their lives.
Yeah.
So that's
Uh,
something I wanted to add in. We have the
no,
market.
it is good you said that. And that just takes on to the next phase of our discussion, binge drinking. Binge drinking in Liberia has become a culture. People just drink to get drunk, drink without limitations, and they drink 7 days a week. So if you have a mom who goes to the club every day and spend what? Still 200 Liberian dollars? You do the math in a week time. It means that this woman is spending what? $1,400 a week. 1,400 Liberian dollars a week. If you do the math in 2 weeks, that's what? $2,800. In a month, it's $5,600. That's more than that's close to what? Maybe 80 or 90 US dollars or so. So if there's a woman who earns 50 US dollar at her job as a cleaner, where is she getting the extra money from? Of course, she prostituted or she engaged in some kind of crime. Our people are not looking at the negative implications of these things that are happening. And government has to step up to the place. We cannot, like we're saying. LDEA, there are a couple of institutions in our country that really need to be funded. Unless the LDEA is fully funded, the whole thing about fighting, addiction, trying to prevent drug dealers from entering the country would be considered a joke. One drug dealer can bribe what? The entire LDA. So if you went in with $20,000 to bribe people who haven't seen, $2,000 for the past 5 months, what do you think they're going to do,
But
Volcano?
Moses,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
talking $20,000. That's nothing. The man is bringing a consignment of drug worth maybe $5 million in the country.
yeah.
The DEA's budget is less than 500,000.
Well,
So if he gave them $500,000, he just bribed the entire DEA.
the entire DA, the entire DA.
So $20,000 at the peanut.
Yeah,
When he's going big. The drug law gonna go big because he knows his
and
profit.
of course. And what these
This
people
is the
do,
market. The people have
yeah,
created the market.
this is something that we need our government, must pay close attention to. Drug use has serious implications. A lot of people have died today as a result of what? Drug use. Take, for example, if somebody is addicted to any of the opioids, there are someone who is abusing Percocet, Fentanyl, Vicodin, morphine. What it does, if you overdose on any of those pills, Volcano, you run the risk of what? Dying. And several people have died. Several people continue to die. Several people continue to go to prison because of what? Addiction. It undermines, the economy of the country in a negative way because you're spending a lot of money on people, including them into city. That's the problem, Potato. So many things are happening. Many marriages are broken today because of what? Drug use. Many people are unemployed today in Liberia because of what? Drug use. Many young people are out of school today because of what? Drug use. So this is a very serious problem here we're talking about. That's why it is important, and I would like to add my voice to those of the leadership or to that of the leadership of the LDA in asking government for more budgetary allocation because these people have a huge responsibility. But they can't do anything because what? They are poorly funded. When cases are forwarded to court, what happens? The judges look the other way and put the people right back on the street. What do you think, Butano?
Let me open up the lines. We good evening, everyone. If you just joined us, this is the Ashford Garley live show here on British
Yeah.
Radio, British TV Africa. We're coming your way via Facebook and YouTube. I'm Volcano Shelton, co-host of the program here tonight. Also, studios guest contributor, Mr. Moses D. Sandy, former journalist and social worker. Continuing off here with the topic. Again, if you get joined us, it's a welcome. You're celebrating your birthday today. It's a nice birthday. Whatever your anniversary is. We want to wish you well. We wish you the very best. We want to say thank you to Joy FM, FM, FM here in Europe, for broadcasting this platform. We also want to remind you that the show comes on Saturday at 1 p.m. because of the vacation by students. And we broadcast here in socially regular time. So we're coming away at 6 p.m. US time, 10 p.m. by India time, or our topic tonight is the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. Agency of established through an act of legislative change to tackle issues of Liberia. I don't think that this agency is funded well regarding resources to address the epidemic. Making insane local funding departments very much concerned about this issue, and as he tours the country, he brings information out to us, and quite frankly, Moses, can you get me?
Yeah, Volcano. I'm
Can
listening
you
on
hear
your end. Yeah, I'm hearing you. There's a lot of noise on your end.
noise?
Yes, so like a grounding sound. I don't know what's going on here. You want to, maybe it's earpiece. You want to check on that?
No, the earpiece wouldn't be any issue. If you're hearing me, I'm hearing myself.
I don't know where the background noise is coming from your end. Okay, now we're okay. We're okay. We're okay now.
Okay, okay. Are we?
Yeah. Oh, it's back again. We're having the same problem
Are
again.
we okay now?
No,
Are we okay now?
not having the problem.
Okay. So this, you know, that's in the so
Are, are
I
you
don't know
there?
why.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay, it's
I'm
okay
here.
now. It's okay. I don't know where was that coming from, but we're okay now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was just regurgitating the
Yeah.
issue with the LDEA and its resources being underfunded, and how are we expected to address the drug use. But I was
Mm-hmm.
also referencing Kwame Weeks, who
Mm-hmm.
does his go around
Yes.
by the country on his Lena Panorama show. And
Mm-hmm.
the last time he was somewhere in the Capitol Hill area where he met a lot of women
Yes.
who are very huge addicts.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them even have babies with them who look already. Uh,
Oh yeah, frozen.
he talked to some of them. One of the ladies said that, oh, one of the drug or
Yeah, but
the new way of get is to get pregnant and then give the child out. She sells
oh
the
yeah.
child.
Mm-hmm.
You heard me?
Yes, I heard that.
Yeah.
And
So she gets
you
pregnant and she sells the child after she has the child.
yeah.
Yeah, and then she gets money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's what happens. When people don't have the resources, when people don't have the means of sustaining themselves, and then at the same time they are struggling with problems such as addiction. Drug craving is very high. It is something that can really control the lives of addicts. So when they have to do that, Volcano, when they have to deal with that problem, it doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter to them how much it costs. They will do everything to raise that money. If a woman will prostitute, she will. If a man will break into another person's home to get some money, that man will. Um, if the man is an executive and he has access to state resources and he has to use that to support his habit, he will surely do. That's what happens. That's why in most developed countries, a lot of emphasis is placed on what? Fighting drug addiction. A lot of emphasis is placed on preventing the sale of drugs. In most developed countries, the laws are very punitive. And I think
Moses,
Liberia has
let me
a
open
similar
up the
thing.
lines.
Yeah.
Let me open up the lines quick. Please look on
Mhm.
the banner, folks. If you're watching and viewing, the number to call is 404-272-2808 if you're in the US or any other country in the diaspora via WhatsApp. Please do not call regular. Call through WhatsApp 404-272-2808. And if you're in Liberia, call 0778 170 0778 170 905. We want you to come in and talk to us. What do you know, and what would be your suggestion to address the drug pandemic, the drug use pandemic in Liberia, particularly illicit drugs in the country, and whether uh, the LDEA is able to address this pandemic. You're talking 5 million people for a
Mhm.
small agency that is underfunded with a national budget of less than $500,000, an annual budget, put it that way.
Yeah.
So come in, call 404-272-2808 via WhatsApp and 0778-170-905 if you are in Liberia. Go ahead, Moses.
No, the less than $500,000 you spoke about, it just speaks to uh, how our government seems less interested in enforcing drug laws in the country. So there are a couple of things that need to be done. The agency has to be funded. The legislatures need to take a closer look at the drug laws of Liberia, especially for those who are engaging in the importation and sale. Such crimes should not be bailable. These people should be held behind bars for years because these people are literally contributing to the death of thousands of Liberians. They have ruined the life. They are ruining the life. These people need to be held liable. The justice system, judges that are taking bribes, police officers that are taking bribes to release drug dealers, these people should be prosecuted to the fullest. That would be my proposition. I don't know how you see it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But again, listen, when we talk about these things,
Hmm.
it's not about a particular person or a particular president or a particular
Mhm.
government. We're talking about an issue that is dear to the fabric of our country.
Mhm.
And for us to sit around and pretend that all is well, all is not well. I mean, for you to really know what's happening in Liberia, you have to be here. You can look in the faces of people, they're literally dying because they're hopeless. They're
Hopeless.
hopeless, and the only thing they've turned to is
Yeah.
the use of drug or alcohol because it's the coping mechanism. That's the way to look at it. That's the way they're able to thrive to go through another day.
Yeah.
And the people who are benefiting from, the monetary aspect of drug and alcohol are the people you're talking about. Yes, those folks who continue to do this against our people should really be put to jail. They should be fined and
Hmm.
jailed.
Hmm.
But again, when you have a weak criminal justice system, when you have a weak enforcement system, when you have a compromised, and not just weak, but compromised
Compromise.
because of
Key word.
financial
Yeah.
gain.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, when they get compromised because of financial gain, because of bribery,
Hmm.
then who suffers? Who is hurting? It is
The
the
people.
ordinary man because
Yeah.
this is his coping mechanism and this is his way out. and he'll do anything. Take for instance that lady who's having a child every year and sells the
Yeah.
child to get money to fund her drug habit. You know, so
Yeah. Mhm.
this is not a light matter, and I have said it repeatedly on this platform that this generation 90 to now is the generation that should be inheriting this country. And if these guys who are in power right now are not thinking about what we consider as successive leadership in leadership, building leaders for tomorrow to take over this country and keep it
Mhm.
going, when they're long gone, I don't know what becomes out of Liberia because a
I don't
bulk of
know.
our young people are destroyed. A bulk of the young people in this country are destroyed. They
Mhm.
have no formal skills. They cannot do anything. And if they were to do anything, everything has to be attached to money. But they have no formal skills. They have the least of education to say.
Of course. And these people, like you rightly said, Volcano, these people are the one today in Liberia. We refer to them what at risk youth. We give them the destination Zogos, which is very condescending, suggesting that they are less of what? Human beings. This is where government should really be putting a lot of money because these people are the future of Liberia. A lot of
And to
young people.
add, Moses,
Yes, go ahead.
to quickly add,
Yes.
these very people you're talking about, some of them have high school, some of them are high school graduates, some of them enter college, some of
Mhm.
them even graduated with a bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
But because of the same frustration, nowhere to turn,
Mhm.
they turn to the use of drugs. So amongst that population, we still have one or two who will rarely do, commit to rehabilitation.
Of
But
course.
who's going to take the initiative? That's the issue.
That's the issue.
Someone has to take the initiative.
Someone has to take the initiative. The government has to take that initiative. When you look at the act that created the LDEA, as I indicated earlier, one of its cardinal responsibility is what? Rehabilitation. Go in Liberia. Do we have any government-owned rehabilitation in our country? Of course not.
No, no. I've
No,
been trying to get Dr. Moses here. I've been trying to
we
get Dr.
don't.
Moses here. Okay,
We
I've been
don't.
trying to get that. I'm coming. I've been trying to get Dr. Moses here.
Mhm.
He is the head of the Grand Memorial Hospital,
Yeah.
responsible for rehabilitation
Yes.
of within the confines of mental health. And mental health is relatable to drug use
Yes.
and other issues. We hopefully will get something going. I'm trying to see if I can tour his facility, Bridge Radio Africa, Bridge TV, and do something with him. Um,
Yeah.
Also with Kwame Opa Weeks, Lina's director, we've been trying to coordinate something to have some of the addicts themselves come and tell the story, firsthand to
Yeah.
the world. Uh, but again, everyone's busy here, so I'm still trying to get that connected. But when you ask about rehabilitation centers here in the country, maybe one or two, and
Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
probably less than 50 bed facility, and you're
Yeah.
talking a population of nearly 2, 3 million young people, who are affected. So no, we're not ready. We're
No,
not
we are
ready.
not.
This country is joking when it comes
Of
to the
course.
issues. This country is joking when it comes
Absolutely.
to the livelihood of these young people. And these are
Yeah.
the same young people that are going to run through to vote for them.
Of course. These
But
are the
after
people.
after elections, they're
That's
thrown
it.
by the wayside,
Mhm. And, when it's
thrown
time
in
for
the drainage
election,
in the alleys.
they give them chicken change and they go running behind them to vote for candidates. And right after election, they are done with them. These people are being exploited. And let me say this for our people out there. When you talk about drug treatment or rehabilitation of addicts, Volcano, it is not an event. It's not something that you wake up today and say, oh, well, Moses sending me pills and that would be it. No. Drug treatment, achieving sobriety, meaning that are helping them to detox, to help them come back to normality. It's a lifelong journey. In the great United States here, we have so many people who are constantly running what? Running in and out of rehab because of
Moses,
what? Yeah,
I
go
got a
ahead.
caller. Let me take this caller
Sure,
quick, okay?
sure, yeah, sure, yeah.
Hi, caller. Are you there?
Yes, uh, uh, Volcano, this is Emmanuel.
Yeah, Emmanuel. Welcome to the show. Thanks for calling.
Yeah. Yeah, so because of the kind of connections we have, I'll be quick. I think what we need to do, we who are in the diaspora, we need to form an international organization and pool our resources together to do a very big project for rehabilitation in Liberia. Because as we can see now, the central government doesn't care. Look at what Sati brother is doing, feeding our people. That's supposed to be our responsibility to take care of
Absolutely.
our people, our children. But our government ignores. So I think we, the diaspora that have these different counties, organization here, we should pull one big Liberian association, put our dollars together, and do some big rehabilitation work in Liberia with people like Moses who have the social science experiences. We can do this thing. We don't have to wait for the central government. That's what I have to say.
Apart from that, what
Thank
else
you,
do you
Emmanuel.
think will help to strengthen the work of the DEA?
Yeah, the DA, all these organizations need funding. For example, like Moses was reiterating a week ago, we need to pay our police, our immigration officer. We need to give these people good salary and give them the kind of logistics they need to do their job. If we don't pay them well, these people are open up to corruption.
Of course.
Sure, sure.
But
All right,
Volcano,
Emmanuel. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you,
Uh,
Emmanuel.
what I was
Hey,
saying, okay,
Hold on, Moses. Just a
yeah.
minute.
yeah.
hmm
Emmanuel, are you there?
I think
Yes,
Emmanuel.
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Were you?
yeah. So I will continue on that. We need the government need to put the money where the mouth is. Put funding into these paramilitary association with the government. Increase their salary. Give them the right logistics. Then we will see a transformation with this drug issue in Liberia. I think if you notice, I think a few months ago, 89 point some more million drugs were imported through Liberia.
hmm
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that we've been talking about all night here about logistics and all of that. But let's come to the fact training. Many of these guys are not well trained.
Of course.
So we want to add training in. We want to send
Of
some of these
course.
people abroad, see
hmm
how other drug enforcement agencies work and the
Absolutely.
things that they do to be successful.
hmm
Whether we send them abroad or whether we bring the experts here. Because my brother, I tell you, Moses, I'll be honest with you. But man, when you see people operating in this country, you ask yourself, well, is this Liberia? I'm telling you, I see this
Volcano,
stuff every day.
look, man,
And
forgive
I'm
me.
like, it
I am
hasn't been
laughing
that
at
long.
all. But man, when you see
Yeah,
it's very serious, I'm laughing. I'm not
it
trying to
hasn't
make
been
fun
that
of it,
long.
but
It just
it's
hasn't been
just
that long.
laughable. It is laughable.
I mean, everybody just does his or her own thing. And
Yeah,
that's the
no one can.
problem I have in this country.
Yeah,
No one
and
seems to really care
be in
anymore.
control. Yeah, no one is in control. That's what happened. And as a social worker, sometimes when I discuss these things, I like to bring it at the family level. Look, we can in the family, if the parents don't have rules at home, and even if there are rules at home, the parents don't enforce the rules, the kids become law unto themselves. The home become a what? A chaotic environment where no one is in control. And from what I'm hearing from you, it seems to suggest that that's what we have in Liberia. No one is in charge. Absolutely, no one is in charge. And you can't run a society like that, man.
No,
Someone has to be in charge.
there's a there to be honest, there is a president in charge.
Oh, but he's
and there
not
are his
executing.
lieutenants. There are his lieutenants in charge.
Yeah,
But this is what we're talking about: the top-down leadership and the bottom-up leadership.
yeah.
They're not doing the bottom-up leadership. They're not empowering the people at the lower level, who are the
Okay.
frontliners, to really
Mhm,
do the work.
mhm.
That will bring glorification to the government. The big people are the ones who want to pretend like they're working, and they're doing
Okay.
nothing around here. Nothing they're doing around here. Instead
Mhm.
of empowering the lower man, so that lower man who is right there on the front line can start to address these things, that's not happening.
Okay. And
So
and
no
and
one
leaders,
really cares when I use the word no one cares, because
that
they're flipping the relationship of government to the people the other way.
it shouldn't be that way. You know,
Yeah.
leadership is coordination. It's teamwork. It's not one man show. It's teamwork, and you got to support the people in the process. Like the topic we got under discussion here. Do you know that West Africa, where you from Liberia, where you from Ghana, where you from Sierra Leone, and other countries, do you know that West Africa has become a transit point for drug dealers? Volcano,
Yeah,
West
because of
Africa
the
has become
weakness.
a transit point for drug dealers. That's why you have the prevalence of drug use in Liberia. In Liberia, marijuana is the most common drug. Even the high school kids and all are smoking for marijuana. Then the next that follow is heroin, which is a painkiller, illicit drug, but it's a painkiller. So when the guys take that, they get high, and some of them look like zombies. Then you have cocaine. All of these drugs are brought into the country by foreigners. But you have a very poor agency that lacks the resources to contain this problem. They who suffers? The country, the people suffer. Our young people suffer because what? They are selling to our young people. They are breaking our families apart. They are killing our people indirectly. And no one seems to be in control. Okay? This is the problem. No one.
Yeah,
People need
man.
to be
I
held
think.
accountable. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think that's the situation. But again, we will be broadcasting for an hour tonight, Moses.
Yeah,
Uh, because I don't want the power to go. I can feel
sure,
it. It's all right.
sure.
So let me. We're about a minute away, but let me let you do your closing remark, and then we can
Yeah.
wrap up.
Yeah, I would like to close off by saying that government, if the fight against drug addiction in Liberia is to accomplish its intended objectives, then funding must be number one thing to do. They got to fund the LDEA, recruit qualified and competent officers and individuals, and pay these people well. They need to be paid well. They need to be given equipment. The laws, the drug laws of Liberia need to be enforced to the letter. And I would even suggest that people importing drugs and selling drugs in huge quantity, those crimes should be what? Non-billable because they are what? Capital offenses. And that's how I would like to wrap up. Thank you for the opportunity again.
Thank you, Moses. Always good to have you in studios with us. Again, I
Thank
want to thank you for
you.
uh,
Yeah.
coming on board. Today
Hmm.
is Fast and Prayer Day in Liberia, as I told you.
Okay.
In the same vein, we lost one of our colleagues who we worked with, late Jeanette Johnson. Can't believe it. I'm still reading from the surprise news today. But again, we're in time. God calls, we can only answer. And so thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Thank you too.
Hope
Enjoy
everything goes well
enjoy
with
your
you.
weekend.
I'm trying to, man. I'm trying to. I was down in the weather the last 2 days.
And
Yeah, very horrible. Very horrible.
okay.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm trying. I'm just trying to force it.
Yeah,
But
man,
again,
our weather here is improving now. We're in
yeah,
spring now, my
we
man.
can't say it all. We can't say it all.
Okay.
So
All right.
thank you so much.
Thank you too, my
Appreciate you
brother.
always.
Yeah. It
Okay.
was a pleasure. Bye bye.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Bridge Radio, Bridge TV Africa coming your way via Facebook and YouTube. My name is Volcano Shelton here with you in the Ashford Live Show. This evening we covered the use of drugs in Liberia from the responsible organization. It's the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency being underfunded. And that's the reason why we've not been able to tackle this situation. And again, that institution with this budget is all payroll, less than $500,000. It is impossible for it to work to the fullest to contain the use of drugs. Who is suffering? Any of our young people, youth in the country, they're all going crazy. They're moving about with science. There's a lot of use of alcohol, a lot of use of drugs. And if we don't rescue this country, I don't know what it will be like in the next 5 to 10 years. But again, we want to thank Top FM, Joy FM, and Live FM for carrying our broadcast here in Monrovia. I want to thank all of you for being there with us. I see some new names. There's Tracy Kringle. Tracy Kringle, welcome tonight to Bridge Radio, Bridge TV. It's a pleasure having you on the platform. Marola Moore, Jack Murch, um, Emmanuel Jackson, one of our major callers and listeners. Ellen Paul, Sako Dean. Sako says that he is interested in building a private jail facilities for drug dealers and government officials. Wow, that's a big one. Um, Also want to say thank you to Bolu uh, Cole Howard, Prince Kekula, Nabai Masakwai, Clarence Tiller, Game Flomo, Raymond S. Clark for joining me tonight. I know things are kind of confusing sometimes with the time, but again, while we're in Liberia, we're going to be broadcasting at 6 p.m. U.S. time and 10 p.m. Liberian time. So hopefully, God's willing, we'll be back here on Monday with another edition and with another topic. Again, I want to thank all of you for being there with us. Have a good night.